Today it's Liquid Legato Phase 3. In this short lesson I'm going to show you that lick I just played, and then I'm going to give you some tips on how to develop a smooth, fluent, and fast left hand. First, let's run through that lick. Until you get something memorized and under your fingers, you really can't begin to hone your technique. Learning where your fingers are going, is certainly a stage of practice, but it's only after that stage that the real technique work begins. So let's hit it. Starting in the key of E minor, and I'm going to play E and walk up the scale. Next string, and then down. So that's the first portion. Then I'm going to shift and slide into the next position, C. From that B note, I'm going to slide up to C here. Slide, hammer, hammer. And then on the first string, I'm going to move from this position, slide, slide, slide. And there, I'm actually leaving the key of E minor for the first time. I'm going to play F instead of F sharp, which technically would put me in A minor. Take that idea, get a little more mileage out of it, practice moving it up and down the neck. I forgot what I played. Okay, I just went back and watched it again. What I did at the top was... So there I'm skipping over the second string. Also, I'm playing that without picking, so none of this is picked. Until I come back to the first string there. That's a downstroke. So this structure here looks like that. But instead of repeating that, I actually do it once, and then I'm on the second string. Slide. And by the way, in case you're wondering, this is A minor. Here's your root. And natural minor would be here. If I do this, now it's harmonic minor, and I can do the same note here. So what I'm doing is actually a kind of a hybrid between harmonic minor and natural minor. I'm actually including both sevenths here. There's harmonic minor, there's natural. So when you put them both in, it's probably best just to call it natural minor with that major seventh as a passing tone. Then I'm going to come down the third string. And then I'm going to move into the 1, 2, 4 fingering there. From that point, I'm going to shift back and forth from fourth position to fifth position. Like that. After that, I'm going to continue in this position. So that is, again, a hammer-on without picking. So I'm coming down. That's actually a mini sweep, 2 strings, both with an upstroke like this. So that pattern. And then the third time, then I'm going to come down and hammer my 4th finger down on E. And then so let's put all that together. Now, of course, when you do that slow, there's not really any specific rhythm to it, you know, and you start to wonder, well, it seems kind of aimless. But when you shove it all together and you cram it in time, you know, this is where this legato really starts to have a feel and take off. So let's talk about how to get there. It's all about breaking it down into its components and getting the mechanic for each of those patterns under your fingers. For example, this first pattern, I might look at that a minute and look at the 1, 2, 4 part of it. And work on that a little bit. And that was just taking those 6 notes straight up. Another idea would be to take those 6 notes but make them a contour. So I'm going to go up and then back down and then back up through the whole pattern. And then you can start improvising. That's what I'm doing here is I'm playing a couple of times doing the first pattern, and then I'm going to throw in the contoured version. Another variation might be if we stay on 1 string, we could do a pattern like that. Here it would look like this. And now we can improvise those 3. So you can see that what I'm doing is I'm taking those 3 different ideas and I'm just sticking them together, but I'm actually improvising where I'm going with them at the time. And by putting them together in the improvised way, you know, I'm not really stuck with playing, you know, this lick or that lick. I can just roam wherever I want on the fretboard. You know, if I know my scales, then, you know, you can just play whatever you want. When I shift up to C, the pattern becomes this. Now in the lick, what I actually played is I came up onto the 5th string and then I did a little turnaround right there. Then back up, and then another turnaround. Now there, when I did the turnaround, I actually did it differently. Instead of, I slid so that I could use my 4th finger, although I think I may have actually done it like this, and shifted into the blues playing position with a stretch. But in any case, whatever you choose to do with your hand position, you know, that's up to you. But I'm doing the turnaround, and then slide up, slide. The key thing is, as you're learning this, you know, stick it together and practice it the way I played it, you know, as a lick, because you need a solid target. what to go for so that you have a right and a wrong. You want to mimic a lick to begin with. But as you break down that lick, you want to look at the mechanics, pull it out, and practice each piece of it repeatedly. And then you might string those together in alternative ways. So maybe you do this. Move up and down. You could take this bit and go this way. So you can string those together, move through the scale in different ways. Now when we get up to the top and I switch into A minor, I throw in the string skipping, which definitely makes things more difficult. If you take the string skipping out though, and just look at the mechanics, it's not too bad. There's the first pattern. And I'm not picking the hammer on. Now there I'm doing it to the second string. That's actually one of the patterns shown at the beginning of Speed Mechanics for Lead Guitar. So the only real difference here is I'm going to throw in a skipped string, and maybe to help with the accuracy of getting that finger to land on the correct string, maybe try going back and forth. To keep it a little cleaner, when I hammer down on the third string in particular, I'm going to release pressure on the first string. It's a good idea to release pressure wherever you don't have to hold on to pressure. You know, I mean, if you're trilling and you have an anchor, you know, of course you have to keep that finger anchored. But in this case, this finger can release pressure. Now let's also turn that pattern around and look at what happens if we do this. And put them together. And from that point, and you could maybe dwell on that a bit. Then I'm going to come down with my fourth finger as a hammer on the fourth string. Next, pull off and come back up. Into the next part. Dwell on that. I think I do that twice, and then I move into that pattern. So now we've got two things. We've got the original lick that I played, and we've broken it down into its mechanics, the components, which you can string together as I played the lick, or you can string it together different. You could repeat a number of different times or move in different directions, you know, through the same or similar or even a different scale. That's it for now. If you want more, check out my Patreon page. Lots more material there, lots of stuff to chew on, lots of stuff to practice. Next time, in Phase 4, we're going to take a look at a little bit of Joe Satriani. When it comes to legato, he's certainly one of the most masterful players, especially in regard to applying it musically. I actually did the recording for this particular Guitar Signature Licks book, so we'll be taking a look at a little bit of that. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.